and welcome to the Unqualified Podcast with Leon Wilson. That's me. Thank you for all the support that you've given us. This podcast wouldn't be possible without the folks who join and like and subscribe and comment and all those kinds of things. And it's especially awesome when we have guests. And today we have a returning guest who is world renowned, and I'm excited about that. Excited about this interview. We've been communicating about it, trying to hammer down a date and everything else. But ladies and gentlemen, you've met him before. Now you get to see him again. He's grown a complete year, and we're excited to reintroduce Mr. Tanner Owens. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to be back on the podcast, of course.
Man, yeah. So what has the Lord done in your life now?
It's been going good with fighting. Fought a lot more, won a lot more, of course. I think last time I was going to Brazil, I went to Brazil and won Worlds.
My goodness.
Of course. I fought against Ukraine and Brazil. That's the only two countries I fought against, but I beat them both. So I got to win that world title, thankfully. Because last time I slipped and fell and lost at Indonesia. Yeah. But this time I finally got it back.
Outstanding. So I noticed that you brought a couple of trinkets with you.
Of course.
Show those off, man. What you got?
All right. So we'll start with my first belt ever, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay, that'd be fine. We'll work our way through them. I'm excited about it. Goodness.
This is my first one ever. I've always, whenever I first started MMA, I always wanted a belt. And like, I remember my dad would, like, you know, like the lifting belts, and I would get it and like pretend it was a real belt. But I won this one in 2024 in Milwaukee.
Wow. It
was probably one of the hardest fights I've ever had to fight for this belt.
Goodness.
It was hard. I fought 3 kids that day, and I fought the first guy I fought, one of the best wrestling I've ever seen. He was really good. Subbed him 3rd round. Second guy, he was good. What is as good as the first guy? I TKO'd him 2nd round. And then the 3rd guy, I went to a decision to finally win this.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's sick. This belt's probably like, this belt has something to my heart. Yeah. Just because like it was my first one, and it was probably one of the hardest ones I've ever fought for. All right, so now I'm going to go to the next year.
Yeah, let's do it. Those things are so heavy you can hear when they hit the ground, bro. You have to tote those things around. Uh-oh.
All right, so this is the 2025 National. I won this in Ohio. I think I had both of these. I did. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had 2 belts. So these 2 I already had. But this was my 2025. This is probably one of the easiest.
Really?
I subbed 2 kids in the first round.
My goodness.
But they were both like good. They're both one kid, I don't remember where he's from, but the next kid was from Mexico, and he was like really known in Mexico, and I subbed him with a rolling anaconda. It was pretty sick.
Nice. He ain't done, y'all. He ain't done.
This one is the one I won this year in South Carolina.
Wow.
For nationals. Fought some really good kids, but beat them all, thankfully. So that gives me the ticket for this year to go to Spain.
Nice.
Thankfully. But I also won another belt this year, of course.
Yeah, show it off, man. Show it off.
So all the other ones are national titles. So it's like, that's youth MMA, and it's a little bit different than this one, because those are just like no headshots and it's body, but like grants bigger opportunities and stuff. This one is showcases 135 kickboxing championship. This is like an adult belt.
Yeah.
I fought this Venezuelan guy. He was really good. He was 24 years old. We fought all 5 rounds. I won every round. It was probably one of my funnest fights I've ever had. It was sick. But so I won this, and so now here soon, whenever I can, I'm gonna try to defend it or win more, whatever they want. So yeah, and then so I put this belt up a lot to fight, because this one's actually like a real. Those other ones are not like, they're real, but they're like more like medals, in a sense. But this one's more, it's like rankings.
I got you.
So I have the belt, and so that means other people have to come and like try to like get it from me.
Yeah.
And I've put it up 2 or 3 times, and no one will take the fight.
Really?
No one will take the fight, thankfully.
Man, yeah.
So it's it's fun to have that one too. That was probably, I like that one a lot because that was probably one of my hardest training camps I've ever had.
Yeah.
We trained hard for that belt, thankfully. And I needed it too.
Where do you do your training at?
Revolution Martial Arts, one of the best gyms ever, of course.
Yeah, if it wasn't, you wouldn't stay, would you?
No, it's I think if you're gonna get your kids in anything or like you just want to try it out, definitely I think Revolution. There's no other gym like it, of course.
That's awesome. So when it comes to working out, training, and all that kind of stuff, other than your fight, technical fighting, things like that, stand up and wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and all that.
Yeah.
What part of the training is like bittersweet? Like, I hate doing it, but I see the results.
To be honest with you, I mean, it's the biggest part in MMA, but it sucks sometimes to train as cardio.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's not like just regular cardio. You got to do like different stuff for MMA. There's not another sport like it to train because it's really hard. I mean, the cardio for it, we push ourselves like further than I can explain. Like it's crazy how hard the cardio is, in my opinion.
Yeah. I remember going to several gyms and stuff back in the day. And one of the things that I liked doing, but I wouldn't want to be made to do it.
Yeah.
It is the sledgehammer on the like tractor tire kind of thing. Seeing that old school, just really it's like your corn-fed kind of training and everything, and it's bittersweet, but you're using muscles you wouldn't normally use, and then you feel the results in your traps and your tries, everything else, and it's just like, and in your back. I mean, muscles in your back you wouldn't normally use, and other than when you're wrestling and practicing your ground game and everything, like that's a little bit different, but when you're training that, those types of training, flipping the tire and all these other things, what is it? Battle ropes. And
battle ropes suck.
Yeah.
I hate those.
It's like, everybody likes doing them.
Yeah.
When they're not doing them, like, let's do battle ropes. No, let's not. Yeah. So what's your favorite? What's the one you just like go to? Like, I can't wait to get to this workout.
I'll be honest with you, like workout wise, I love to hit back because it's the biggest, to me, it's one of the biggest parts in MMA and it's one of the funnest lifts you got. Yeah. But my other thing for battle ropes is something called I think it's called like a Tabata. You'll have a time and then you'll do 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off. And it doesn't sound that hard in theory, but when you do it, it's hard. It gets really, really hard. Yeah. I hate that more than anything. But that's like, that type of cardio is probably one of the biggest things closest to MMA. Because when you actually fight, you've never been more tired. Yeah. And it doesn't even matter. Like, most people can come in the gym and train for hours, and you think you're good and stuff like that. Then when you go fight, that cardio is a different thing. Yeah. Because, like, I'll be honest with you, like my forearms, they're shot after. Like they're so much more tired than I can ever do in the gym. Yeah. Yeah, it wears you slap out. Of course. And I think when you're in the ring, when you're either in the ring or in the octagon, or if you're on the mat, when you hear that 10-second slap, that might as well just be music in your ear, because you're like, okay, I'm giving it everything I got, leaving nothing on the table, and then I'm going to my corner and I'm going to do whatever people do and take a breath or whatever. So is your team the same? Everybody who's in your corner, are they the same this year? Or? Oh yeah. So I got Jonathan Hensley, known as Homie. Then we got Jimmy Fowler. He's the main coach at the gym. And then Max, he's always in my corner. My best friend too, of course. Nice. And then that's really like the main people that's in my corner. Then in the gym, like there's a whole bunch of people that's like training and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're going to get to the testimony side of things, but I think it's important that we talk about, all of this. All of this is you. So we talked about your training and all this other stuff. Now on the school side and everything else, how's that going this year? It's going good. So I set up my classes this year so I can get out and like and it's like 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
So I can train more, work a little bit more, and get more money and stuff like that. And that's also helped me out a lot. And then my teachers, you know, they're really chill about the fighting, and they help work around my schedule,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
then my mom owns her own business, so she helps me pick and choose what days I can train and also work at the same time.
Well, good. That's awesome. So, anything else as far as like your future that has changed since the last time you were on?
No, I mean, still want to fight. It's my biggest goal, but we haven't talked about Brazil.
Yeah. Let's go
That's
ahead
something
and
we
just
need to
let the
talk
cat
about.
out of the bag.
The medal. I love Gamma.
Yeah.
They kind of did crap the medal this year. I will give them that. Last year they crapped the medals, but this is a world title. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is something I won in Brazil when I fought against Ukraine and Brazil, and it was like insane. I got my eye. I think it's one of my eyes, but me and this guy headbutted and it split my eye open in the first fight. So then I had to go fight the other fights with my eye split.
Yeah.
It was just crazy because they you're not supposed to be able to fight still, but I still did, and they had to put super glue in it and Vaseline it up.
Yeah.
But it was probably one of the funnest events I've ever had. It was so fun to go with because, you know, just hang out with my friends, my coaches, my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And still got the fight. It was so much fun. I'm glad I got that experience.
Yeah.
To say I got the fight in Brazil.
Yeah. So when you going to Spain?
That's a good question. Let me look at the thing. I should have had this before.
It's all right.
But it's kind of I had to get this for my teachers because I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but
did you like Brazil at all? Did you get to look around, stuff like that?
Of course. I wanted to go to the standing Jesus with his hands out.
Yeah.
We were really near it, but I didn't get to go. Spain's not close. It's about 3 months away.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But still, we gotta start fundraising, getting money for it. So it's December 9th through the 13th is when we're gonna be in Spain. So it's gonna be insane to fight.
December 10th is a very special date for me because I graduated basic training in AIT in Fort Benning, Georgia, and became a United States Army infantryman on December 10th. So you getting to go down December 9th. Now we're that close to being a different kind of brother.
Yeah.
Dude. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it. I'm praying about it. You know, I'm gonna pray that the Lord does something just crazy, amazing.
Of course.
So tell me about your walk with the Lord. How's that going this year? Do you feel closer? Do you feel mature? Is there an aspect of ministry that you're guided toward and how that life is going? Just, you know.
Yeah, it's going good. Still, my biggest thing is the Jesus shirt. I feel because this is my sponsor shirt. This is what I sell for to make money so I can go and stuff like that. But I told my mom whenever we started doing it, I was like, I want my number one sponsor on my shirt.
Yeah.
And that's Jesus, of course. And I don't know. It's all these belts and stuff are cool and I love them, but I could never do anything. I couldn't get up in the morning if I didn't have Jesus. And I think people need to realize that more because, I mean, I think we take for granted what we have and we want more, but we don't realize what we do have.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even if I didn't train or nothing, he still gets me up for a reason. I might not know that reason right then, but he still gets me up. And that's my biggest thing is I just need to give more thanks to him because it gets me up every morning. And sometimes I don't want to go to school, but he still makes me, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Your gym and everybody, are all them on board with your walk with Christ? You know, do they ask you for prayer, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and also every time I go to fight, it's really cool to see everybody come together and wear their shirts. It's another part of it.
Yeah.
It's whenever I go to walk out and I see everybody have their shirts on, or I see people that will send me pictures if I'm overseas or something like that. That's the coolest feeling ever, just to know that something that little has helped people. Maybe it has, or if it hasn't, but in my mind, if it does anything, I hope it does help someone.
Yeah. I think it's epic. I think in a world where it's so cool to be everything else, and that, you know, in I'm just going to say it, in mainstream America, in mainstream world, it's about having your face on a shirt, your face on a flyer. But there is something different about saying, oh, no, y'all, it's not about me. It's about him. And to be able to, just project it back and say, no.
Yeah.
I don't deserve all this attention. I'm here, but I'm an advocate for the Lord. And I think that's epic. And I commend you for doing that, because I know what the pressure is like and all that kind of stuff. And, it's easy to become a sellout in today's world. And, back in the day, we used to, anybody change who they were at all to any degree, you're a sellout,
Yeah.
And today that's like, you either sell out or get canceled. Have you had much pushback on the Jesus shirt?
I mean, sometimes, especially like with fighting, it's like in some like organizations, they don't want you having like your religion on something. And I hate that more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's my right. I can have my religion on me. I don't understand why I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I've had some people like not let me wear shirts to fight in or something like that. I remember homie, we fought in Brazil. He was fighting and he had a cross shirt on. They made him take it off.
Wow.
But the same day, I fought with the Jesus shirt on. So it made no sense that they wouldn't let him wear a cross shirt, but me wear my Jesus shirt. But that's probably my biggest thing is like organizations won't let you wear it. So I've been thinking about getting this design tattooed because they can't say no then.
Yeah. It's either I'm going to be in the fight or you're going to have to have somebody else, and it's not going to be the same. Of
course.
So do whatever you do. Tell me about how does it feel to be older? Like, what are you doing now? You drove here by yourself and all this other, and I didn't see any parents around. It's like, here my guy Tanner's like just growing up on us and everything. So what's life like how old are you?
I'm 17.
So how's life as a 17-year-old?
It's good, but I mean, I've gotten older, but nothing's really changed. Still just training, trying to just work towards my goals. Because I really want to try to do this for a living. I want to fight pro. I want to fight in UFC, wherever I can. Whatever I can do to do that, I want to do. So, I mean, I might be older, but nothing's really changed, to be honest with you.
Well, that's good. That's good. What else is on your mind to talk about?
I don't know. I just want people to understand that how much Jesus is there for you. I think people forget.
Yeah.
So I think we need to give him more glory. Even me sometimes, like, I definitely have, like, not given him the glory when I should.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like people need to get closer to God more, because I understand how people get far away from him. I think people need to stop giving their self the spotlight and realize that he's doing everything in your life.
Yeah.
He's waking you up in the morning. He's helping you get through the day, and no one understands that.
Yeah.
Because no one understands, like, your life can be taken like that in a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I just also want to help, get sponsors and stuff like that. I need to get sponsors for Spain. Yeah. So I thought, and also it's just fun to come on here and stuff like that.
I remember when you first came on, you were like, man, I'm nervous. Here's a guy he gets in the ring, going toe to toe and all is subbing dudes and busting them up and all this other stuff. And he's like, man, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about this, I think one of the most dangerous dudes I ever served with in my life is deathly afraid of needles. And that's what it reminds me of. And here's, it came time of year. It was mandatory. Everybody gets their flu shots. So we're all lining up. We're on the range. They like ambushed us basically. We're on this range and we're doing whatever grunts get to do and, shooting down range. And then they're like, everybody line up. I'm like, oh, what's going on? So next thing you know, we're going to the back of this little SUV and there's a girl there giving everybody flu shots. Mandatory. You got no choice. You're getting it.
Yeah.
And so he's in front of me. This dude squared away. He's like John Wayne, like just Rambo, just one of them guys, like just good old boy, country boy. And he leans on the tailgate of this vehicle and they're like, you all right, Sergeant? He's like, nah. And then he sits up there and she's like, you good? You ready? So then he's like, nope. He sits down. He gets down onto the ground, sits Indian style, and holds on to me. He says, go ahead. I'm going to wind up down here anyways, because he was just deathly afraid. And but the thing is, after the shot, I'm like, dude, you good? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that wasn't that bad. At least they know what they're doing. But in your case, you rocked out the first interview. You're rocking it out now. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of who you are. I'm proud that you stand up for what you believe in, and you're not afraid to say, hey, I'm going to serve my Lord, and I'm going to represent my Lord, and all those kinds of things. And honestly, Tanner, I believe wholeheartedly that people ought to be lining up to, try to have your back and the lock arms with you to help you in this ministry. Because who's to say fighting can't be a ministry? I look at like UFC and all this others, and who's your biggest influence in the UFC that reps Christ?
Houston Jones, Stephen Thompson. Not Houston Jones. God, they did a collaboration, and I always get their names mixed up. But Stephen Thompson, he's one of my favorite fighters. I actually won my nationals at his gym.
Nice.
But he's a big Christian. He's also one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's really good, very good.
That's awesome. So what inspires you about his walk with Christ?
Just how polite he is in the UFC, because it's a very violent sport.
Of course.
Everybody, and we're fighting. It's literally violent. So, and I think everybody thinks it's just we're like mean or something like that. But he's the perfect example of how nice we can be, because if in the UFC they have a BMF belt, it's the baddest mother effer. Yeah. But they made him a nicest MF forever belt. It was really cool, but he's one of the nicest guys you ever meet. I met him, and he's there's no one else like him.
That's awesome. I think that's important. I think it's important, that we pray. I think it's important that we use any kind of realm of influence that we have on anyone else. Like, how has your friends list changed? Do you have folks that are like, who you drawing on right now? Is it like, have you grown in friends, or like, what's that like? Your social life?
Not really. I don't really talk to anybody at school, just because, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get in there and get out. But my best friend's Max. Me and him, just something about him, and he's just my best friend, and me and him do everything together.
Yeah, they're a special girl. Don't lie.
Of course. Her name's Peyton. Me and her's been dating for, tomorrow will be 8 months.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm. And she's always been there for me. She helps me, especially when I'm cutting weight. She's always there helping me, or whatever it is. She's always there just to help me. Yeah. If that makes sense.
No, that means something, dude. It means something. At your age, and I'm saying this because I've been there. At your age, right now in your life, this is where most kids, like, and don't get me wrong, you're a kid until you're about 25, 26, 30, to an old guy like me. But, most of the time, high school grades, like, you really think that most of them think, man, this is my whole life. This whole existence right here is everything. And it's launching me to whatever. And then 2 years later, you got like zero friends that are the same. A whole new group of people. You're working and or going to college or doing whatever people do when they're not at high school. And you realize just how little your social life in high school really meant. Yeah. But you're kind of doing it the backwards thing, where it's like, look, I don't keep a big circle. I just have like two people, and then whoever's at the gym and stuff like that. You don't realize how big of a blessing that is and is going to be, because honestly, it's so hard to find like-minded people that when you are, we'll call it, embedded with like-minded people, it becomes a whole different dynamic. So you keep pushing that forward. Let me ask you this. The part of your testimony is, what do I need to say to someone to get through to them in a moment, and it might be at the end of a fight or whatever, where you got a million things going through your mind at, when that bells rang, crowds cheering, your arm goes up, and all that, and it's like Tanner Owens is our champion. You know, what goes through your mind in that moment? That's like, no, God's the champion. Like, is there something that you're like, oh no, this is what I'm going to say because it is not about me? Like, what is that? What is the Tanner's go to?
I had an interview right after my showcase fight. They like come up with a microphone and they're trying to ask you questions. The first thing I said, I said the only thing I gotta say is all glory to God. That was the first thing I said. Mm-hmm. And so I just try to like take a step back and make sure he's glorified whenever I can, especially like on the mic or something like that.
Yeah, good. How's your mama and your daddy? They're
doing great.
They all in?
They're having fun. Watch me fight.
Yeah.
Mom, if you watch any videos, you'll hear in the background, of course. She's crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy about you. That's for sure. So is she excited about Spain?
Of course. I think she's really nervous. I'm nervous too, of course, but I don't know. She's gonna have fun with it no matter what.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we go. Number one, is there any kind of encouragement to the person who is on the fence? They feel like, man, I kind of want to get into cage fighting, or I kind of want to get into MMA, kind of want to get into kickboxing or jiu-jitsu or anything like that, and they're nervous because they're thinking about getting hit in the face. What would you say to that person to just say, no, just get in there?
To be honest with you, it's probably one of the biggest things, like helps mentally, physically, like you'll never be a better athlete. And then mentally it helps you. And also just you don't got to be worried about getting hit in the face. It's not as bad as you think, but also you don't have to get hit in the face. Yeah. You can make that decision to not do that. I mean, if you're just there to have fun, just come in and have fun. And also a big thing is it helps a lot as a kid when you come in there and like, cause school's hard. I have a hard time in school, and like I found something in MMA and it like helped me learn discipline and how to focus and stuff like that. And I started doing better in school. I was a better person. And a lot of people think when you're a fighter, you just fight and then you're mean and you think you're better than everybody. But the biggest thing is it teaches you discipline. It also teaches you how to like be humble. And I think it's a big thing people need to understand. And I think any little kid should come in there and train. It helps out more than anything. I really think that needs to be pushed more.
Yeah. Do you like working with kids?
I do. I like going over there to teach sometimes. It's just, I need to get better at teaching, of course. Sometimes I'm not the best teacher, but yeah, I love to. I try my hardest to like, whatever I learn, I try to give back to everybody. Even if it's a kid, adult, an old person, whatever it is, I try my hardest just to give back. That makes sense. Awesome.
Yeah. So what's your biggest challenge at this gym? Is it people or is it yourself?
It's myself. No, in any situation, I can handle people. I'm good at talking to some certain people, but like mentally is the hardest thing for me, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the biggest battlefield in our life, honestly. So let me ask you this: David in the Bible was a fighter, straight up hardcore body stacker. Just that guy, and some of his biggest challenges was him. And we're getting real deep in this. You ready? So David's biggest challenge was overcoming his own issues and things like that, and the darkness that's in here and everything. And I mean, I'm convinced that's why he wrote a huge amount of Psalms, and like I've got to sing. I've got to, my outlet's this. Obviously, your outlet is in the cage. What other passion do you have that's like, this is kind of my outlet? This is how I, just release and blow off steam or whatever. And how's that in your prayer life?
Of course. How I can get away most of the time is like either fighting or I like to go like, I just love hanging out with my girl, of course, and then my buddy Max. That's just it's a big thing when you have good people in your life.
Yeah.
I think some people get caught up in the quantity over quality. Mm-hmm. I just like having my people around. It helps me focus on something else than my mental. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it makes all kinds of sense. No, I appreciate that that answer. I think it's the vulnerability side of things in life. We realize oftentimes that in hindsight, you know, where we made our mistakes, where we let things get too big and you know overwhelmed us and things like that, and then we find ourselves, you know, feeling like now we're trying to fight from behind and all this other, but you know, getting ahead of it and saying, oh no, when things get tough, because it's going to get tough. When things get tough, I'm turning straight to the Lord, and then also who you lean on. You know, my last episode was about the people, you know, around you influencing you, and how are you influencing people. I think that's important, and I can see the quality of you know, that you want to be a quality friend and a quality family member and things like that, and a quality influencer, and that's huge. I can, you know, I commend you for it. So so what's next? Do you have any big fights before Spain?
Probably not. I mean, there's talk about this one fight, but I'm not gonna say anything about it because maybe it happened, maybe not. But just really Spain right now.
Okay, all right. Well, then anything to say before we go?
I don't know. This is kind of off topic, but I think we need to be reaching out more as humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think people need to stop bottling things up as much. Reach out to somebody. You always have somebody, even if you try your hardest to say you don't, but you do.
Yeah.
Reach out to somebody. Talk about your feelings more. And just because you're a dude does not mean you can't talk about your feelings. I think people need to do that more.
That's right.
My last thing I got.
Man, yeah, I appreciate it.
Of course.
So, what did Leon learn? I'm glad you asked. The first interview we did, Tanner came in here and he's like, man, you know, I got my nerves all over me and all this other stuff. Y'all see a different Tanner. I see a different Tanner, and I'm happy for it, growing for it. I love seeing personal growth. I love seeing positive growth, obviously, but I like seeing personal growth, but I also like seeing spiritual growth. And when I see spiritual growth, when I see someone who is maturing in any kind of aspect, I think that that's something to applaud, and I applaud you right now. The other thing is the fact that when you admit, hey, you know, I don't have it all together all the time, I need the Lord. That's huge. Where people go wrong, Tanner hit the nail on the head. We start bottling things up. When we start bottling things up, that becomes regret. Regret becomes in some form or fashion some type of toxicity. And then it's hard to not take that out on other people because it becomes a way of life. Most of the toxic people that you'll find in this world are people who have bottled up things and held things in, and then next thing you know, they lash out because pressure has to go somewhere. And I'm glad you said that. Mental health is important. You can be the strongest person in the world, have all these biceps and all this other stuff, and you can have, you know, that killer jab and that 1-2, that haymaker, whatever you got, or that rear naked choke, whatever you got. But if you can't control yourself, and if you cannot say, hey, I've had enough, then you've got a big problem on your hand, and you need to do that. I would say that, are you on social media? You have any?
Of course. Can I say my Instagram?
Yeah, of course. Tell people how to get a hold of you. If you need to get a hold of Tanner, get a hold of him here.
Of course. So I'm trying to grow my Instagram as best as I can. I don't got a lot of followers. It's tan.er824. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
It's just my name with a dot in the middle and then 824. It's pretty simple.
.er. What's the rest?
824. Pretty sure.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Reach out to him, connect with him, and support him. You still sell the shirts?
Of course.
All right. So get the shirts and put a link in your socials and let your mama take off with it, because she's squared away and she'll hook you up. Listen, I love you. God loves you. This has been the Unqualified Podcast with Leon Wilson.